We have our County Clerk Tim Idoni that's here with us today. He's gonna provide us on an update on the wide range of services offered by the County Clerk's office, including passport processing, naturalization services, mobile outreach programs, and participation in the local heritage festivals. The County Clerk's office under Tim Idoni is at each one of the festivals that we have, each one of the heritage days. We make sure to shout them out all the time because they're there making sure to pass out so much information. So summer travel's in full swing. Clerk Idoni will also be sharing important information on how to correctly submit your passport applications, current processing timelines, and helpful tips to avoid delays, and more importantly, not just a little bit of a delay, a whole planned trip being delayed because you got to the airport and didn't have the things that were necessary, didn't have an updated passport, and you might not be able to get on the plane at all if you don't have real ID at minimum, but if you need to travel someplace that needs a passport, you're going to do that. So Clerk Idoni, at the end of this year, has chosen not to continue as the county clerk, but he's done 20 years in the county clerk's office. And every time we want to tell people how things have changed and made it different, made it better, made it more efficient, made it more streamlined. And that's because of the leadership of our friend Tim Idoni. Tim, come on up. Let them know what's going on in the county clerk's office.
Thank you, Ken. For those of you watching, you don't have to dress like me in order to come to Playland. Matter of fact, I suggest you don't. It is just a fun place to be, and dress for fun when you get here. I'm thinking, I said, I grew up about 8 blocks south of Kathy O'Connor, so we had a lifetime of fun at Playland. I've been coming here for, I hate to admit this, 67 years. Four daughters and 9 grandchildren come every single year, come back to enjoy the kinds of things that I did 67 years ago here. It is just a fabulous space, and I got to tell you, Mr. Jenkins, Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner, it's never looked better. I mean, it really, you guys have done a fabulous job, and please participate in this wonderful park. It's been a great experience for us from the Idoni family standpoint, but it's just a wonderful place just to walk around in, even if you don't participate with the rides. The rides are the best, though. We know that. Thanks for having me, Ken. I really appreciate the time here today. I'm going to concentrate on more fun stuff, and specifically on travel today. We have a mobile office that goes to about 40 municipalities a year. Most of them in the summertime, and it makes it a little bit easier for people to be able to get their passport applications processed. As we like to say, comes right to your hometown, the county government coming right into your hometown. And we have done a number already. I won't go into those, but I do want to read off the places it's going to be in the month of July anyway. On July 1st, we'll be at Saxon Woods Pool, another county facility in White Plains at 1800 Mamaroneck Avenue. All these times, by the way, are 10 to 1 o'clock. Sometimes we'll stretch it out to 2 o'clock, depending on the crowd. We don't want to leave people waiting online and just leaving because we hit the deadline. We really don't have a deadline, but we tell people, try to get there before 1 o'clock so that we can take care of you well enough. Tuesday, July 8th is at the North Salem Town Hall at 266 Titicus Road in North Salem. Thursday, July 10th, Constitution Park at 120 Larchmont Avenue in Larchmont. We're going to be on Tuesday, July 15th in Ossining at the Caputo Community Center at 95 Broadway. In Greenburgh on Saturday, July 19th, that's Greenburgh Day at Anthony Veterans Park in Ardsley. Can't miss it, centrally located. And yes, all the village residents can go to Greenburgh Day. That's one of the great things. As the former village manager of Ardsley, there's always a little controversy as to whether the village residents can go to Greenburgh Park. This one, everybody's allowed in, and it's a wonderful day. Tuesday, July 23rd at Dobbs Ferry Village Hall at 112 Main Street in Dobbs Ferry. And last but not least, of course, Tuesday, July 30th at Mount Vernon City Hall, 1 Roosevelt Square, right in front of City Hall there. We'll be parked there. We broke a record on Saturday at Sleepy Hollow. We did 82 passports, We had to extend the hours by 2 hours. There were so many people there. It's a wonderful, wonderful service. We specialize in original applications. We will assist in terms of renewals. However, we will give you back your paperwork on renewals because for some reason the federal government has suddenly decided in their infinite wisdom, they don't want us to mail the passport applications in for renewals. They want the people to do it directly. It was an issue having to do with COVID. Won't get into all the dirty details, but we will assist you in filling out the application so you do it right, so it doesn't get rejected when you send it directly in to the federal government. Matter of fact, we'll even provide self-addressed stamped envelopes for you at each of these spots. So, one of the things that you should remember if you're planning on traveling internationally, a lot of countries, specifically Italy, Spain, France, and Mexico, require that you have a valid passport 6 months in advance. They don't want you coming there and then hanging out and having your passport expire. And you don't want that either. You might not be able to get back into the United States. So once you get within 6 months of your expiration date, check your passport, make sure that you're got it, they got the renewal into them within 6 months of the expiration date. Right now, things have cleaned up quite a bit. It used to be, for heaven's sakes, it was almost 6 months to be able to get the stuff done. Now they're down to 3 or 4 weeks. The federal government has speeded the process up, and that's wonderful for all of us. So we're the best we've got. Somebody just asked me a couple of days ago over in Rye. We're in Rye. Are we better than the post office? No, we don't get into competition with the local post office. I will tell you, we are infinitely friendlier. I didn't learn this in graduate school when I got my management degree, but George Latimer and I were in graduate school together at NYU, believe it or not. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't learn from those textbooks that you put your friendliest people at the counter and in the mobile office, and people are thrilled. We get nothing but compliments from the way we handle the passports in the mobile office. Ken mentioned a number of other things. We do pistol licenses, not my favorite subject, but we do them. We do it well because we're supposed to do it well. I am the clerk of the Supreme and the county courts. If you have legal issues you need to deal with, we don't do legal counsel, but we will help you get whatever you need done as quickly as possible with the assistance of a very good Supreme and county courts here in Westchester County. We do a naturalization service, which in my mind is the nicest thing that we do. We actually do a ceremony once a month with 100 people in the Supreme Courthouse across the street. It's the greatest day in many of these people's lives become American citizens, and to be able to assist them in doing what they need to get done in order to achieve that wonderful accomplishment is just one of the most gratifying things that I've been able to do in my 45 years of public service. So we're very, very happy to continue that service. We had a little bit of a bump in the road during COVID. We're all back in motion again, and believe it or not, I've sworn in 50,000 new American citizens in the 20 years they've done there. So. No reason to clap. That's what they pay me for. That's really about it. I don't want to take up too much of the county executive's time here. Thank you very much for having me, Ken, and the whole staff. You've always been a bunch of pros. It's great being partners with you in all the things that we do. And come to Playland, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful spot. Take care. Thank you, Ken.
All right, that's our clerk. Our county clerk, Tim Idoni, who's done so many things, and I hope you paid attention to that. He said 45 years of public service, and whether that was in Ardsley as the village manager, the mayor as the great city, the Queen City on the Sound, a little further down the road here, as he pointed out with Kathy O'Connor, that the work that he's done, 45 years of public service, and that's the kind of gentleman that we had as a leader for our county clerk office. But again, he pointed out that works throughout his office, the friendliness of his office. And again, we've been able to do some improvements in capital, making the office look so much better and giving them much better workflow for them to happen. When I got on the Board of Legislators in 2007, I think that project was already on the books for 5 years. So I think we got it done right around the time of COVID, like during that time, like 21, that kind of time. So that's been on the books, and Tim has been there the whole time. So getting this work done was so very important. Congratulations again for all the outstanding work. 50,000 people being sworn in as American citizens from naturalization. The passports, I think you should be listening to that information. Many folks don't pay attention to it, like, oh, my passport's still good for another 6 months. Depending on that country that you're traveling to, that may not be enough time. And I cannot tell you how many times people come to us and make calls and ask, and then they end up trying to talk to the county clerk to figure out a way to speed up their process for a passport because someone passed away in a particular place and they're trying to get there and they can't because of that kind of thing. So again, pay attention and heed that. He's got a good link on the website for so many of those things to do. So make sure to check that out as well. And the dates that he pointed out with the mobile office, the county clerk coming out to you, and he's been doing that for so many years. You know, people don't recognize that there's so many things that are happening because of our county clerk and getting out, whether it's some identifications and things like that happen in the county clerk's office. So Tim, thank you so much for being here, and thank you continue for the leadership that you've had in our county clerk's office.